XG, Mascara, a song that, in my view, presents a certain counterpoint to the themes of all the songs XG has composed so far. The song might speak about an empowered femininity full of self-confidence that in a group finds great strength not allow itself to be swayed by short-term relationships with any man. These are women support each other, assert themselves, and gain strength together. At first glance, the lyrics seem to say something about this, but we will now see their interpretation at Coachella. Today is Monday, 2 weeks left until their final performance on this tour, the First Hall, where they will perform at Tokyo Dome. So, while we wait for the Tokyo Dome videos, which will surely be their best performance of the entire tour, we will now see how they performed at Coachella.
Alright, Coachella! This is our party. If you know this one, let's get crazy! I know you can go louder! You ready? Let's go! XG! Ladies! You ready?
Hey, hi, how you do? Gotta tell them maybe how we do. XG, cute and nice, but we don't ever let you master twice.
Yeah, they do with the lies. Better never hit them with the lies. Yeah, if you ever have a major cry, I got advice.
So here we must highlight, indeed, the most distinctive voices in XG that really give the characteristic sound and timbre that this group has, which are Harvey and Jurin. Both have a technical proximity in vocal placement in their vocal register that are really very close, where they have this great shining in their voice. It's a voice directed toward a nasal and vocal, even more predominant here in this middle region between mouth and nose. This timbre has a certain stridence, quite bright, quite strident and metallic, even more metallic than bright and strident. This sound is very peculiar, at least within pop and hip hop, at least what I know. I've never heard any woman who had this type of timbre when singing, especially in hip hop and rap. So they have this voice that's somewhat even caricature, we could say, because it has this characteristic of something metallic that's very accentuated at an extreme level indeed. Harvey has this characteristic in her speaking voice, but Jurin, not so much. Her speaking voice isn't as metallic nor as vocalized downward. It's even a bit directed upward. But both give XG its signature sound. Generally, in all their songs, for most of their song performances, what we notice most is their timbre, which is wonderful.
Never let you master. Ladies, you ready? Hey, hi, how you do? Gotta tell them maybe how we do. XG, cute and nice, but we don't ever let you master twice.
If you ever do with the lies, better never hit them with the lies. Yeah, if you ever have a major cry, I got advice.
You can make an A sound in many different ways. You can do it like a classical singer would, do it like this. made you cry. You can do it normally, like commonly a pop singer, contemporary music singer in general would do. It will be a natural ah. Ah, made you cry. Ah. Or you can do which is how they do it. My voice already has some natural metallic quality, it's very deep, so I can't bring out these characteristics as much. A deeper male voice has difficulty bringing this out, but in their case, since their female voice, higher pitched, maybe only Harvey is a contralto. Maybe she's a contralto, but I'm not sure. They are definitely metals. But she can bring out this metallic quality more clearly. It's not a timbre we could call a duck voice. It's not that, because it would have a different characteristic. It's specifically metallic quality. The main characteristic is the metallic quality. The base of the tongue, not the part we see at the tip of our tongue, but further back entering the pharynx. It opens laterally, opens sideways, and the soft palate maintains its curvature but also comes down slightly, and the base of the tongue in this region where we can already see the tongue, it stiffens. So you want to do it's hard. So this stiffening and the lateral opening of the pharynx is what creates this sound that we hear from both of them, and that's very characteristic. By the way, both of them here are putting a lot of voice, projecting their voice. Even at first weekend, as I mentioned, it was their voices we heard most, despite the backtrack being loud. And here, especially this song, which I think is XG's most characteristic song, at this point highlighting both of their timbres. So in this song they stand out because it's also a very comfortable range for them.
Never let you master twice.
If you ever hit you with the lies, better never hit him with the lies. Yeah, if you ever ever made you cry, I got a buzz.
Baby girl, don't you ever be wasting your good energy. You ain't even worth it. No, you don't deserve it.
And now we see a different characteristic with our little music monster, Juria. She has more brightness than metallic quality. You hear it like little stars twinkling. I don't know if I can be clear about this, but she has high frequencies that stand out and dominate much more than Jurin's and Harvey's. So there are other harmonics that we hear like it twinkling, that appear in milliseconds in her voice. This has a bit to do with her timbre, but mainly because she almost always has belting activated. So it also brings out this brightness characteristic. So while Harvey and Jurin have the metallic quality, Juria has more brightness in her voice.
Cocona comes back around when it's over to fix your crown. So when it comes knocking, why you gonna do it?
Here, Chisa managed to project her voice while singing. We notice the parallel and mismatch of her voice compared to the backtrack. It's a moment when she's dancing, so she needs more diaphragmatic support and to project her voice more, and it's already in the mid to high range. So you can see she came with a lot of vocal volume, and the mismatch was noticeable, which shows she's really singing live.
Are you gonna let him play? Are you gonna let me say? Ladies, what we gonna say? Another boy ruin the mascara.
This wonderful chorus. It's precisely Jurin's voice and Harvey's voice that stand out. And obviously, the composer, Simon, and the whole team wanted this, it turned out simply perfect. It came out really beautiful. And it really gives that aggressive characteristic too. At this moment, I think the girls are saying... I don't remember now the exact translation. But they are repeating a phrase to one of the girls in their group. Say something somewhat provocative. So this chorus is more imposing, but also empowering, where these voices bring something somewhat of highlight of someone who's asserted themselves above others in an even impulsive way. It presents a heterotono of notes. So it's something being emphatically stated.
Who you gonna get it? Are you gonna let it pay? Are you gonna let it say? Ladies, what we gonna say? Another boy ruin the mascara. This my party. I can cry when I want to. Cry when I want to. Don't mess with my mascara.
Here, Hinata, she comes in with a sound that's more upward and more rounded. She does the syllables she executes. They are nasal, but they are a bit more rounded, a bit more projected. But she doesn't have that characteristic of either much brightness or much metallic quality. It's a bit darker, even somewhat closer to Cocona, if we compare between them. So she comes with a volume, like she did the whole show. She imposes her voice quite a bit, but she contrasts well with Harvey, with Jurin, and also with Juria.
Another boy ruin the mascara. This my party. I can cry when I want to. Cry when I want to.
By the way, here also Chisa, she also creates contrast and her voice coming quite far back. I think she at this moment chose to pull back her voice a bit and let the backtrack take the front. But she contrasts a lot because her voice normally is in belt and it's quite vertical too. She has that characteristic of always placing her voice in coverage. So she doesn't have a vocal voice, her voice is from the nose to the forehead, normally forehead upwards. It's a voice truly projected vertically.
Ladies, what we gonna say? Another boy ruin the mascara. This my party. I can cry when I want to. Cry when I want to. Don't mess with my mascara. This my party. I can cry when I want to. Cry when I want to. Don't mess with my mascara. Oh yeah, best girl game. Young one, don't play your games. Don't be like a suplex girl on a coupe. I'ma beat a chop, chop, chop. Get a jet. Go, girl.
Here's Cocona. So it's a voice with characteristic also quite different. She has a wolf-like voice, a voice that goes upward. She's naturally yawning, both when she speaks, but especially when she sings. So she naturally does like this. Go, go. Really upward. She practically doesn't. Not that she yawns intentionally, I believe not. It's more her natural placement when singing. So she has a more velvet and dark timbre. But the difference compared to Hinata's is that her timbre had more briefness, more natural air release. Not that she's using the whisper voice technique, where someone intentionally adds air to the note being emitted. In her case, no. She naturally has this, so it brings that velvet voice quality, this air cushion that also brings certain harmonics. and which in short can bring semi-metallic tone or not. In her case, it does to bring metallic tone. But then you see the different characteristics of Cocona and Hinata compared to the other girls.
Oh yeah, best girl game. Young one don't play your games. Don't be like a suplex girl on a coupe. I'ma beat a chop, chop, chop. Get a jet. Go girl. Go girl. Go girl. Come on, cry over what you say another. Yeah. Baby.
Here we barely hear Maya. We barely hear her because the microphone had some issue. She adjusted the microphone, so I believe it was some capture problem, maybe. But then Maya ended up not being audible here, and the backtrack took over.
Get a jet. Go girl. Go girl. Go girl. Come on, cry over what you say another. Yeah. Baby girl, don't you ever be wasting your good energy. He ain't even worth it. No, he don't deserve it. Fuck around, come back from the way to better fix your crown. So when he comes knocking, what you gonna do?
So this is executed the same way by both Juria and Chisa. Chisa here, I believe she's in a range that already demands a lot from her high notes. So she comes with the volume, and again there's a voice mismatch with a slight, very slight note precision, totally natural, and that happens for microseconds. And Juria held back a bit more. She stays a bit closer to the backtrack's volume, but you can hear her voice too.
Get it? Are you gonna let him pay? Are you gonna let him stay? Ladies, what we gonna say? Let another boy ruin your mascara. This my party. I can cry when I want to, cry when I want to. Don't mess with my mascara. This my party. I can cry when I want to, cry when I want to. Don't mess with my mascara. When I find me another baby who treats this lady good.
Here she does a phrase with falsetto, so you notice a volume loss at the end of this phrase, which is natural since she's also dancing. Normally, these melodic phrases in an XG song, where you have very high jumps that go into falsetto registers. Normally these phrases are executed mainly by Juria and Chisa.
Mess with my mascara. When I find me another baby who treats this lady good.
So always on this high note, she goes into falsetto and returns. Here Juria, she did the same melodic phrase as Chisa, but at the end, she makes the same high jumps that Chisa was doing before. So, what happens is, Juria has the same problem that Chisa had of having to firm up the support and push the voice more because it's a very high range. So, there you not see her voice stand out a lot compared to the backtrack, and even a mismatch happening really.
You're gonna cry me a river, baby.
The same line that Chisa did, now she did. And I believe she didn't even use falsetto here on the last note, but I'm not sure. Now, pretty high pitched.
Let's go! Are you gonna let him pay? Are you gonna let him stay? Tell him no, no, not today. Are you gonna get it? Are you gonna let him pay? Are you gonna let him stay? Ladies, what we gonna say? Another boy room, no mascara. This my party. I can cry when I want to. Cry when I want to. Don't mess with my mascara. This my party. I can cry when I want to. Ladies. Cry when I want to. Don't mess with my mascara.
So very good, very characteristic. I really like this song because it brings this arrangement and it highlights precisely the voices of Harvey and Jurin. And Jurin's comes through even stronger than Harvey's throughout this entire chorus. Especially because here at Coachella, like I said, I believe who stood out the most always precisely Jurin for always singing so much, and which was very noticeable on the first week too. So my congratulations here to the girls for their performance. This is the second song we've analyzed from Coachella. So if you like this analysis, leave your like and comment below, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, consider making a financial donation to help the channel down below with the super thanks button, or in the first pinned comment through the PayPal link. Alright, see you!